and then asked me, sir, we will be starting from in our school time or in our college time. Continue today's class or you postpone it?
No. We have to continue. After today, I'm not postponing any classes, except if I'm extremely.
No, postponement is not permanent. Postponement is temporary because we are rescheduling.
Sir, there's a
time changing.
Yes, of course. But so there's a saying in my native language, Malayalam, that tomorrow never comes.
Those are adage. Those are absolute truth. Tomorrow never comes.
I mean, yeah, you can just say yeah. I mean, I understand what that. I only understood that very late.
No, it's okay. Maybe coming with a nice things also. That way also tomorrow comes.
So shall we start with question 13G?
Right. Just getting it. Five, 6. Is my screen visible to you?
Yeah.
5, 13, 10. I actually badly needed the hard printout of this, the machine. I tried to do it, but our laser printer is not working properly. The ink is so faded. We need to change the drum. So that again I have to put a requisition, then the technician will come change the drum.
Yeah.
I mean the toner, the.
Yeah. Sir, 13 please. So 13, question 13.
This one. So this is.
13G. I mean, we did to left.
We did this, I believe. Little bit, no? What sort of process would YT typically be described?
No. Sir, G. From G.
Can you show YT is weak stationary on its covariance term? Covariance stationary means weak stationary. This one, no?
Yeah.
So it is a process where you have the covariance stationarity. If your first order covariance, the mean is independent of T. Covariance stationarity happens if these following things holds true. That means first of all the mean should be independent of T.
So can you just tell me what autocovariance is?
Yeah, UT minus 1.
So can you just write it?
If you have UT correlated to UT minus 1 related to UT minus 2, then these disturbance terms, if they are correlated, then we normally come across autoregressive scheme or autocorrelated schemes.
Okay.
Now that may happen in some particular way. For example,
So
you
you're
may
saying
have UT maybe
so you're saying the covariance of UT and UT minus 1 is not equal to 0. That's autocovariance.
right. Maybe rho UT minus 1 plus epsilon t. Then your UT minus 1 maybe again rho UT minus 2 plus epsilon t minus 1. So this thing, if this thing happens, then if you put this this UT minus 1, if we substitute by this expression
Yeah.
in here, then it is the autocorrelation becomes it's an autoregressive scheme of second order, first order, third order, like that. So after certain order, the autoregressive scheme fails to recognize the autocorrelation. I mean, the correlation becomes too meager that they behave like independent terms.
So what is the implication of this?
Implication is the immediate preceding a particular value at a particular point of time, any disturbance at a particular point of time, has got strong correlation with the previous disturbance.
Okay.
And previous to previous disturbance, it has got a little bigger correlation.
Okay.
And previous to previous in its disturbance, it has got even more meager correlation. So if we lag the time back to 2-3 period, then the correlation becomes too meager that we can ignore the correlation. So that is why we write, that's how the funda of AR11 model, then AR22 model maximum taken, because maximum variance, I mean the autocovariances are absorbed in this. I mean AR1 model. Then you have got AR2 model. People write it this way also. But you can have AR3, AR4 like that also. Because why they don't do it? Because here the response is too low. Too small explained variations are there with such autoregressive scheme. So they ignore, and maximum autoregressive effects of autoregressiveness is being explained by either in the first order or maximum second order.
So you're saying that autocovariance is a good thing?
Autocovariance is this, no, because this is also correlated to this. That means UT has also related to this. You see?
I mean, from an econometric standpoint, is autocovariance a good thing or a bad thing? Is it something like we want or something like we don't want?
No, we don't want.
We don't want autocovariance.
We don't want, but it is there.
Okay.
Now, to what extent it is there is a measure of the predictive ability of the model. So now, if mean is independent of t and the variance is independent of t, both are independent of t. That means it doesn't depend on time.
Okay.
The moment we say it doesn't depend on time means it becomes independent of time. That means this period's variance has got nothing to do with previous period's variance. This period's mean has got nothing to do. Nothing to do means that is nothing to do is an English terminology. Here in statistical terminology, nothing to do means not related, not correlated.
Okay. So
Right. So
independent of time in autocovariance would mean that it's not correlated.
Absolutely. Independent of t, variance independent of t means that the two period variance are uncorrelated. The two periods mean any two successive periods. I mean the current period or the preceding period or current period and the following period. The moment we have any point of time, say if we write t somewhere here, then normally we have a successive time t plus 1 and we have a preceding time t plus 2.
Okay.
T minus. So now t periods, any behavior of t period behavior, like say whatever mean is there, if some variance is there, if this mean variance has got no relation to the mean and variances of this, x bar t minus 1 or sigma square t minus 1, is got no relation to sigma square t or x bar t, and it has got no relation to x bar t plus 1 and or sigma square t plus 1. If these things happen, then we are having independent any sense. That means your variance is constant for all t. That means they are independent. Otherwise, so there should not be constant variance. If the variance are dependent, then there should be some some difference in variances along time.
Okay.
So now, so mean is independent. So in a covariant stationarity means weak stationary.
Okay.
In any covariant stationary means weak stationarity, we have normally the following characteristics.
So once again, I'm just asking you one question: is weak stationarity a good thing?
Weak stationarity is a good thing when these things are observed in time series observations. A certain time series are weak stationary, some are strong stationary. So now, if stationarity is a feature, it's a characteristic we want. Because if we want, the predictability of the model is better. So on a non-stationary series, you cannot really predict something. The predictive power of the model is less.
Okay.
So now if we write stationarity, if we write stationarity, RITY, so and this can be either weak or strong. So obviously, if it is strong stationary, then the model is more stable.
Okay.
And if it is weak stationary, the model is little unstable.
Okay.
Now this instability gives rise to less
predictable model.
Predictability.
Okay.
This technology sometimes this instability gives little less predictive accuracy. On the contrary, if it is more stable, we have got more accuracy in predictive power.
Okay.
So this way you can judge now. Maybe strong stationarity is little desirable than weak stationarity.
Okay.
If weak stationary means it's more distable. More distable means the oscillator in the model is higher and our forecast will be little less accurate. So everything is judged on the basis of our forecasting or predicting power, forecasting power. How accurate we can forecast, how accurately we can forecast stock prices or dollar rupee exchange prices, depending upon time series analysis.
And sir, one more important takeaway from what you said right now is an AR model more than 2 is not desirable.
AR model more than 2 has got meager applications.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, most of the explained variation is absorbed by second degree lag. Second order lag model.
Okay.
Beyond that, lag is there, but the power is little less. So normally in maximum research, except it is not too refined research, maximum research or maximum analysis, AR1 or AR2 model is applied. AR3, 4 models are not applied, because it is not. If you say 90%, 95% accuracy is coming, so why should we go for higher level model? And even if we go for higher level model, the accuracy, the predictive ability may not increase too much. Right.
Yeah.
So a process, if it is covariant stationarity happens, the mean is independent of t and the variance is also independent of t. And number 3 is the autocovariance function is also independent of t, and it is solely a distance between the time indexes.
Okay.
Right.
Sir,
so here then they have calculated, the certain values might have been obtained earlier.
Yeah, so that is okay. We can go to the next part of this. GH. I can read that. I just had the doubt with the first thing. So what is so let's do H.
Coming. Just a minute. My eyesight also sometimes struggles, suddenly things get little blurred. Because my whole job calls for huge strain on my eyes. So sometimes I say, don't work me more.
So the question for H is
The information.
no. The question for H is what is the conditional mean of yt plus 1 given all information available at time t?
This is actually your forecasting. This is actually your forecast.
So what is ft, sir? What is ft in this? Ft is the error?
Yeah.
Or disturbance term?
Ft is all the disturbance error terms. So from u0 to ut, the information set at time t is given by all the past values of ut. That is fine, because you have explained, if you know the values of errors, then you have the information. I mean, error caused due to political disturbance, error caused due to exchange rate fluctuations, error caused due to inflation, error caused due to human, some. So you have got all the errors and their contribution in the model. So they are explained. And then what happens? So the information means the information giving rise to the error. The information set at time is given by all the past values of ut, and yt, although we do not explicitly need those here, they are set. So yt also known, but we don't need it. Then this ft is a set comprising all the disturbance terms from 0 to t, that is full t, right from the 0th time to the tth time. Now we have to take the conditional expectation, which is conditioned on this, what is the expected value of the explained variation, the target variable, like say sale or profit or some target variable, which is called dependent variable or something. If we have the conditional value of all the previous disturbance terms. So now these expectations are driven, like yt plus 1, this model is yt plus 1 model is first framed, and then ft values are given here. Okay, this is typical from the general model. Your yt model, yt plus 1 can be generated using these time lags. So, and then expectation is driven on the basis of expectation algebra and conditioned upon this. So the expectation of constant is constant, then these expectations are not non-operative, because your operative because you have all these informations before. So there you cannot expect anything from them, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because from ut to ut minus 1, you can only, now your stochasticism comes only from the disturbance terms of the t plus 1th period of time. Because we do not know only this time's disturbance, but previous time disturbance we all know. So the model of current time target variable conditioned upon previous time disturbance. So the expectation on this previous time disturbance terms are not meaningless. They should behave like constants. So expectation is operative on ut plus 1 given u0 to ut.
Time, okay.
This you got?
Yeah, of course. So I understood that. We can go to the next part.
Just a minute.
So the reason why I keep everything aside is because when you speak, I understand much more fluently, and I don't want my. No. I'm saying this very seriously.
You have said such things on YouTube. No, some of my students might be asking, sir, if Len can understand, why we can't understand? So I have to answer that you don't concentrate as Len.
No, sir. It's because 1-to-1. This is 1-to-1, sir.
Might be. In a class, random disturbance are there.
Yeah.
Because in a class, 20-15 people seated, they sometimes lag their concentration. There is a concentration variance, covariance matrix.
Yeah. So also, one thing I learned in advanced, when you learn advanced mathematics, is that there are 2 to 3 processes in learning mathematics statistics. First is you should know the mechanism or the mechanism of what is happening. And in order for the you to learn the that is the most important, actually, the first stage.
Absolutely.
I mean, for that you shouldn't question too much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then is the understanding. It is only at the understanding point you can question too much.
Right.
Because maths and statistics, they are very mechanical subjects. So the first stage is non-questionable. You have to accept things as they give you, and the second stage is the really
Absolutely. You see, without even understanding why ddx or sin x is cos x, you can do a whole lot of derivatives.
Yeah.
Now, in order to really feel why sin x is the differential coefficient of sin x is cos x, even after doing it from the first principle and all, there is a feel element of it.
Exactly.
It's like a musical thing. Yeah, you see, you cannot understand music, you have to feel the music. So whatever be it, whether it's our own Malayalam music or it's a Western song, you have to have the feel for it, and then only you cannot just understand some song or understand the music. Mathematics is something like that.
This is something I learned in my MSc.
Thought process and mind frame and belief system, and then you understand really something. Even I consider myself still till today, I read some research papers or something which uses a very advanced level of analysis, which probably I am not exposed to. It is very difficult for me to really understand the paper. I just read it on the glimpses, the notes and the essence of the paper without going details into the derivatives and derivations. Because they uses all fuzzy logic and these are AI or very complicated systems. They are using artificial intelligence to explain fuzzy logics. Very difficult, because I myself do not know too much of artificial intelligence. I have to relearn then for entire thing, because it has got so advanced. After advancement of computer science, the statistical systems has got so advanced that it is sometimes very difficult to understand what is happening inside computer. Do you really understand what is happening inside machine? It is very difficult to understand.
So we can go to I now. I.
This one. This is the conditional. This is the conditional mean. The conditional mean at time t was calculated in the previous step as this one, as its conditional mean, using this ft function. Now they have used these two values of ut. This one, these values are given probably. These values are given, and then you get the conditional mean as this thing, your 0.03 after calculating this thing.
So 1 second. So it's just a plug-in, is it?
Just a substitution.
Okay, cool. Right. Okay, then it's okay. Then
some simplification.
Yeah, then it's okay. We can go to question 14 then.
It's again a white noise process with constant mean and homoscedastic disturbance. And YT, your model can be different, but the funda is same. You see, your YT structure may be little different, but your fundamental disturbance terms, behavior, this remains constant. This remains, this remains this as it is, and your then YT maybe some this here you can have some different functional format. So based on to that, your conditional mean, conditional variance, autocovariance, variance covariance matrix, everything will come differently. First of all, this is a first order AR model. You see, YT depends only on YT minus 1 plus UT. So this is a first order AR model. CTAR1.
Yes.
First order AR model. There is no MA model attached. You have got actually AR model and MA model. Now they together, when you club them together in an explanatory way, it becomes an AR MA model. So we are exclusively dealing with AR model, pure AR1 model.
Okay.
So if we have here some function with YT minus 2, say plus this thing plus some 0.725 YT minus 2, then it is a AR2 model.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
So what sort of process would YT typically be described as? This is a AR1 model. because we are having only one period lag.
Mhm.
মানে current period value, target variable value depends only on the previous period's target variable value and current period disturbance.
Okay.
So it's a AR1 model.
Yes.
Then they are asking what is the conditional variance of YT.
What is the unconditional mean of YT?
Sorry, so just I have my eyesight is probably
No, sir. You scrolled it a little down. It is B.
just a minute.
Just a little. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is unconditional mean.
What
of
is the unconditional mean of YT? So the process is stationary since then it is an AR1 process and with a coefficient strictly less than 1. If it is a normal standard practice.
Sir, why is the expectation of YT in this is equal to expectation of YT minus 1?
Because your expectation. Just one second.
Yeah.
You see. The moment
It follows white noise.
The moment we write like UT follows white noise with zero sigma square. This means two things. One is that expectation of UT is 0 for all t.
So 1 second, let me also write that down.
Running from 1 to t. And your variance of UT is equal to sigma square or somebody write sigma square u for all t running from 1 to t. So since here the model is yt equal to probably 0.5 yt minus 1 plus ut, if I raise expectation here, if we raise expectation on yt, this will be 0.5 expectation of yt minus 1 plus expectation of ut minus 1. So expectation of ut is 0 for all t means expectation of ut is equal to expectation of ut minus 1 is equal to ... expectation of ut minus k, whatever it is, up to t or k, which is t. So
yeah, but sir, the thing is that
0. So this thing is 0.
Yes, no. So, but the thing is that, sir, here it is the expectation of YT and it's not UT.
Yeah, so it is this expectation of YT will only be expectation on YT minus 1. No, so that's why it is so.
Okay.
Anna?
Okay.
They have written, no, you see, the derivation is here given. Whatever I have done, it is 2-3 steps. They have done it here, you see. Expectation of YT is 0.5, expectation of YT minus 1 plus expectation of UT. Now, so since expectation of UT is 0, since expectation of UT is 0.
Oh, okay.
So this expectation of UT is 0, no?
Yes.
UT what? UT minus, sorry, if you write UT only, so that is 0.
So the reason YT is equal to YT minus 1 is because the expectation of UT is equal to 0.
Yeah, this one. This is the cause.
Okay.
This is the cause. You see this.
Yeah, okay.
This one. This is the
perfect.
cause.
That's perfect. I understood that, yeah.
Okay.
So this is why I ask you to, take classes more often and more time.
No, I don't have any problem then. Just see certain things. No, I don't have any control. Even if I say I will be with you at 3 o'clock. If some of officers, some vice chancellor, vice chancellor office, somebody calls me up at 2:30 and asks me to join in a meeting and tell about something, blah blah, and then drags me up to 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then you will be finding that sir has promised that sir would be back on 3. It is now 4 o'clock. There is no patta. There is no trace of sir. Actually, I am engaged in some business which is non-academic type. So I have to manage, little non-academic, administrative aspects of many things.
Yeah. So let's
which has got no correlation to statistics and econometry.
Okay, sir, we can go to
university administration. Like scheduling of exams, class load, faculty distribution, departmental events. These are n numbers of a hell lot of things. Arrangement of guest lectures, workshop, this, that, kind of blah blah, and never ending thing. Then everything comes to my table.
Yeah.
At
So
the end of the day, everything comes onto my table.
yeah, sir. We can go to the next part. C, which is I can read the question out. What is the unconditional variance of YT?
This part, no? What is the unconditional variance of YT, right?
Yes.
So you have to calculate the first of all variance of YT is expectation of YT minus expectation of YT whole square.
Mm-hmm.
Your expectation of YT
Mm-hmm.
Is 0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
which can only hold the expectation of YT is 0.
Mm-hmm.
So this is only variance of YT is expectation of Y square or
Yeah.
YT square, whatever.
Yeah.
So now they have calculated this expectation of YT square by using these YT functions. They have put inside the YT functions at 0.5 this expression substitution, simple plug-in,
Mm-hmm.
and then getting it squared, opening the square and driving the expectation inside with the logic of expectation, with the expectation algebra.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 0.5 whole square expectation of this.
No, sir. How did we get 2 over there,
Which one?
sir?
This is
Second
A,
step.
This is A, this is B. So
Yeah.
A plus B whole square is A square plus B square plus 2AB.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is class 7 formula.
No, sir. Of course. I mean, sometimes you don't see
in
it.
your school, remember. A plus B whole square.
No, I wasn't thinking in that way. Okay.
It's very simple. No, you
Yeah.
have got some 2 expressions, say x plus y whole square. So this is your x square plus y square plus 2xy. And now if you have an expectation over here, then you have an expectation out here.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be expectation of x square
Mm-hmm.
plus expectation of y square plus 2 expectation of xy.
Yeah. I think I understood the rest of the process, sir.
Okay. So it goes, and then according to the to the condition of this y square, ut and ut, yt, ut,
Yeah.
this yt, ut must be uncorrelated.
Yeah.
Since yt minus 1 ut has got no correlation, so this will be independent and that will be 0.
Yeah.
Okay, by stationarity conditions.
Yeah.
And your ultimately your expectation of yt square will land up to here only.
Mm-hmm.
So expectation of yt square will be this one only.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be, if expectation of yt square is these 2 things.
Yeah.
Now solving for expectation of yt square
Mm-hmm.
by using these functional values,
Mm-hmm.
like this, you take expectation of yt this side.
Sir, expectation of YT, and if it was a cross expectation, that would have been 0, right?
Yt ut is 0.
Yeah. Okay.
So taking this expectation, this whole term this side,
Yeah. So I understand. We can go to the next
into
part.
1 minus that, and so expectation of yt square is expectation of ut square by 0.1 minus 0.5 whole square. So whatever will be the value, so this one. So I am now so this will be your sigma square by this thing. Since your expectation of yt square is sigma square. So this is how the variance is determined.
Sir, I'll read out the next question. D. What is the first order? That is lag 1 autocovariance of YT.
So yt minus 1. It is yt minus 1. That is
So down.
this is the typical covariance formula. This one. Okay.
Yeah.
Typical classical Pearsonian product moment correlation coefficient. This is the entire term of this name of the term. Pearsonian Pearsonian product moment correlation coefficient. Carl Pearson is this thing. Now you substitute yt minus 1. What happened? Yt minus 1 in this structure. Okay. So you will have covariance of yt minus 1. This is first order autocovariance between yt minus 1.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be expectation of yt
Mm-hmm.
minus covariance, the expectation of yt minus expectation of yt into yt minus 1 expectation of yt minus 1. This is a expectation formula for covariance. Okay. Now expectation of yt and expectation of yt minus 1, these two are 0. This is 0 and this is 0. This term is 0.
Okay.
This term is 0.
Yeah, I understand. That term is also 0.
This term is 0. So if they are 0, then expectation of yt
times yt minus 1
into yt minus 1.
Yeah.
So that remains. So then the substituted, expectation of yt, this is a system for yt, and this is yt minus 1, this yt minus 1.
So it becomes expectation of yt times yt minus 1. So is that how we get expectation of like, because yt disappears in that step to the next step. Can you explain that?
Yeah. This one, no?
Yeah, if you go from that step to down, the yt disappears. Can you tell me why?
You see, your yt is also this yt, this particular yt,
Yeah.
is actually 0.5 yt minus 1 plus ut.
Oh yeah.
This is your first order autoregressive scheme.
Yeah, of course.
AR1 scheme is that. It is mentioned in the first stage of the formula that since this is an AR1 model, which is primarily explained by yt is equal to some factor. So here it is. So we used to write rho yt minus 1 plus ut.
Okay.
So here your rho value is not rho value. It is there is a value given in a concrete term. It is 0.3.
Okay.
So this is your yt, and if it is yt minus 1, then this entire thing into yt minus 1.
Okay. I understand, sir.
And then expectation outside. That is why they have used this third bracket. We call it these days. No, this is a traditional thing. This is a third bracket.
Square bracket, yeah.
They call square bracket. Somebody says this is a modern term.
Yeah.
We used to call this a second bracket. They call something braces or something.
Curly brackets.
Curly brackets are braces.
Yeah, and this one is parenthesis.
This is parenthesis. We used to call it first bracket.
Yeah. Okay.
In our times, we have got all first bracket, second bracket, third bracket. Now the terms parentheses, braces, or square brackets, they have said. So this is in the square brackets. Then you have to multiply this yt with this, leading to 0.5 yt minus 1 whole square plus ut yt minus 1. Now your ut this ut yt minus 1, this is 0 because this is the assumption.
Yeah, it's a cross variance. Yes.
Yeah, it is 0. And this thing you have, so 0.5 and this expectation of yt minus 1 square you have just calculated here itself. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This will ultimately be this thing.
Sigma.
And then if simplify, there will be a value for it. Sigma.
Sir, how did we get the denominator 1 minus 0.5 square?
Pardon?
Oh yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we get it over there. And since we are also coming up with the assumption that expectation of yt square is equal to yt minus 1 square as well.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Sir, let's go to. I think we are going to finish this now. E.
Sure.
I thought of starting with the second problem set, but then I think we can do that another day. Maybe day after tomorrow. Sir, I hope you're free on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday is a holiday for me, but I'll be little busy in the morning time. I have to go to, and I have got a personal appointment for my household some reason. So I may have to be excused in the morning for 2:30 and continue till 11:30.
Yeah, because I understand.
In my opinion.
Yeah, but usually when I study, so the thing is, I actually understand the mechanics and then try to. I do the mechanics and then I try to understand it. So the thing is, after you teach me, I have to also practice this by myself. So that's why I
absolutely. That is there. That is unconditional there.
Yeah.
That is true for every student. I tell you, go on and practice. And because this type of writing is also a skill, no?
Yeah. Of course.
So it is very difficult for suddenly writing all these things.
Yeah.
So these are all specific. You know, in the ancient time when we didn't have computers and all these modern techs, these are where all specific codes. These are all coding. No, so you are coding variance, covariance, expectation, everything. You are coding actually in terms of algebraic notations.
Yeah.
So that time it was said that statistics is being coded in terms of algebra.
Yes, sir. What are we going to do next? Oh, yeah. So party. Yeah, party.
This is again that the same thing, that the information of the previous disturbance are given and what is the conditional value of current target variable.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think the question out here, part E, what is the conditional mean of yt minus 1 given all the information available at time t? This is absolutely the last question type. Just the explanation, the algebraic look will be little different, but the fundamental logic is indifferent.
Of course.
So again the information ft is given by the this thing.
Yes, I understand that.
And the conditional expectation, if you take last, absolutely like this before, it will be this expectation of yt minus 1 conditional upon these values. Here only thing that they have conditioned it. They have conditioned is yt and the past values of ut. Past values of yt as well as the past values of ut.
Okay.
Earlier it was only past values of ut.
Yeah.
Now yt minus 1 is conditioned upon yt minus 1, yt minus 2, yt minus 3, like that. So that is why this is the ft structure, ft functional structure. Now your expectation of yt plus 1 according to the model is 0.5 yt, 1 period lag, so it will be yt and this will be ut minus ut plus 1 conditional upon the previous period's yt's. Now if we use expectation, then this will be expectation of this thing. 0.5 expectation of yt is yt, because if we have a conditional expectation of the t plus 1th period of target variable.
Yeah, we change all the variables. Yes.
My target variable on the th value, we can't have expectation, and that is a given value now.
Yeah.
This has to be understood actually. These are notional beauty. The current period, people may often confuse that why there should not be expectation on yt. You see, you are expecting a value of target variable at t plus 1th period of time. It means that th period of time value is known to you.
Yeah, of course.
So you can't have any stochasticism in that. So that is clear. So expectation will only be operative on the disturbance term, conditional upon all the previous periods. From 0 period to t period, target variable. The dependent variable, the y value. You called it.
Yeah.
So now this will be 0.5 yt and the expectation of t plus 1 conditional upon all these values.
Yes, sir. I understand, sir. I understand everything else.
The white noise.
It's zero.
These are all white noise now, because all these are white noise now to you.
Yeah. So that's
so
perfect.
This will be 0. White noise expectation is 0.
Yeah.
White noise is a non-stochastic behavior.
Okay.
So their expectation, so this will be 0.5 yt. And then there then the last question, probably the f is coming here. Huh?
Sir, F I understand. It's okay.
Okay.
So we finished today's.
Okay, thank you, Len.
Yeah.
And tomorrow you just give me. I have given you one suggestion, one piece of study material only. The remaining one I will send you slowly.
Yeah, sir, it's okay. So tomorrow I don't need you to take class, but on the condition that on Saturday we can have longer hours.
Sure.